What is forgiveness all about? I think I have trouble forgiving because I have the wrong idea about what forgiveness is all about. Forgiveness is not the same as forgetting. Forgiveness is not the same as pardoning or reconciling or condoning. It is not the same as justice. If it's none of that, then what is it? I like Randall O'Brien's definition the best. He defines forgiveness as the removal of barriers between persons caused by wrongdoing, real or imagined, as sins are sent away and persons are drawn together in relationships. Forgiving is a choice, and it's my choice. I can forgive you or not forgive you. The act of forgiving is held within my control. It must follow that if it is within my power to forgive, then it must also be within my power to be offended by you. Since all of this is within my circle of control, why wouldn't I choose not to be hurt or offended by you in the first place? This would definitely eliminate a lot of frustration, wasted anger, and the need to forgive you. This ability to live a life without taking offense, without laying blame, and by offering forgiveness is very freeing. But try as I may, my feelings are constantly hurt. I simply expect too much from my friends and family. When they don't meet my expectations, I become frustrated and my feelings are hurt. My emotions take over and my hurt heart squashes my logical brain. Let's take an example. I had gone out of my way for you, a friend, and instead of being nice and thanking me, you snapped at me. Your comments put into question my integrity and honesty. You did this in front of a room full of people who, before this incident, had respected and admired me. Your actions ignored my kindness and generosity. You caused me injury, whether intentional or not. At that moment, I was very hurt and angry. Yes, I was hurt by you and was angry at you, the person who had done me wrong. I blamed you for committing this wrong toward me, and I held on to that thought. It was your actions and not my choice of response that caused my anger. So yes, I was justified in my anger, and I wanted to hold on to that feeling. This wrong has now created a barrier between you and me. As long as I hold on to my anger, our relationship will be hampered. To protect myself from further hurt, I will distance myself from you and reduce our interactions. Because you hurt me, and I don't want to be hurt anymore, I will do my best to stay away from you and erase the hurt you caused me. I will drift farther and farther away from you. After a while, I will realize that this plan isn't working for me. The anger I want to hold on to so tightly doesn't feel good, and it's changing me from the inside. It is snuffing out my light source and inner peace. The anger that I am holding on to is hurting my emotional balance and my physical health. I begin to see that my choice to stay angry is hurting me more than anything you said or did. It's hurting me much more than it is hurting you, and frankly, that is just not fair. I start to reevaluate my choices. I start to see things from your perspective. I also realize how much I miss not having you in my life. I decide that I would rather have you than the anger. I choose to let go of the anger so I can hold on to you. I make the choice to forgive. Now, you may have noticed that you had very little to do with this process. It was all up to me. Yes, what you said and did may have been a catalyst, but it was my choice to be hurt by your actions. It was my choice to hold on to the hurt and anger. It was my choice to let go and forgive. Taking that all into account, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could choose to rarely get angry with you? This would mean that I would have to learn to forgive you in advance of your hurtful actions. I would have to become some type of mind reader who could predict your future actions. How can I do that? It is true that I cannot control your actions or your thoughts, but I can control mine. There's a saying, frustration equals unfulfilled expectations. If I give up expecting things from you that you cannot do or choose not to give, then I will be less likely to be frustrated, disappointed, and hurt. There will be less hurt if I simply trusted that you didn't mean to hurt me, that you were doing the best you could, and that you simply made a mistake. Less hurt leads to less anger, which leads to less need for forgiveness. What I find interesting in all of this is that I knew from the start that everyone, including me, operates primarily out of self-interest. Logically, I must expect that at some time my self-interest is going to get in the way of your self-interest. One of us is going to become frustrated with and hurt by the other because our expectation of the other is not being met. Our particular need is not being met by the other. If I know that already, then why am I so upset? Why am I getting so angry and frustrated with myself or you for acting exactly the way I expect? As I said before, if I could give up expecting things from you that you cannot or choose not to give, then I would be less likely to be disappointed, frustrated, and hurt. There will be less hurt and less need to forgive. Now, that being said, there are some things that need to be made clear. My forgiveness is not condoning your actions or behavior. I am not forgetting what you said or did. Forgiveness does not necessarily mean reconciliation with you. I know I can't force you to act the way I need you to act. I can't force you to stop being you or doing the things you do. If you continue to do the things that cause me pain, the best I can do is to put my energy into looking for another way to get my needs met, other than through the experience that hurts me. Instead of constantly revisiting the path to hurt, I need to seek out new roads to get me where I need to be without the hurt. What I am after is finding the peace and understanding that comes from releasing that anger and blame that has hurt me, taking things less personally, and changing my perception as to what happened. I have to make a commitment to myself to do what I need to do to feel better, to stay in that healthier, peaceful place. Forgiveness is for me and not for anyone else. To resolve my issues, I must get the right perspective on what is happening. I need to realize that my primary distress is coming from the hurt feelings and thoughts that are happening now, not from the initial actions that offended me 2 minutes ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. I'm messing up every new day with what happened yesterday, insisting on bringing in the failures of yesterday to pollute my future. I need to remember that if I focus on my wounded feelings, then I give my anger power to keep me in darkness. Instead, I must focus on the things that will bring me light.